CPAC's Martin Stringer now has more on the significance of today's recognition in Parliament of the Rwandan genocide and the lessons learned. He spoke with two people who were witness to the atrocities and the inaction, and another who has helped lead efforts to ensure we never forget what happened.
Esther Mujawayo, thank you very much for taking the time. General Dallaire, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Irwin Cotler, thank you. Can I start, Madam Mujawayo, what is going through your mind? What does this day and this week mean to you?
I think I look back 25 years. It can be so long, but it's like yesterday. A lot of pain. But on the other hand, I feel so happy that finally, at least we can give the right name. Who has been killed in '94 and why we were being killed? My people, they died only because they were Tutsi. And for years, people have talked of Rwandan genocide, of genocide in Rwanda, of massacres, of what. Now we name the things as they are. At least here, by the parliamentary, they name it as it is. So for me, it is a big step.
So this motion in Parliament was a very important moment for you today?
Yeah, it was a very big, a very important moment for me, really. It can look small, but when we try to push it, people are saying no. And then this is keeping this amalgam. And this is why people are saying, yeah, there was a genocide of Hutu, a genocide of Tutsi. Of course, no. There was a war. And in the war, Tutsis and Hutu, they died. But there was a genocide which was intending Tutsis, even those who were still not born.
General Dallaire, we know your role, and you've spoken about your role, and Canadians are so familiar with your role in Kigali and in Rwanda. What does this day, this week mean to you?
Commemorating is important as part of our mourning, and ultimately, hopefully, a reference for us to move into the future. But you can't move into the future if you're continuously being swiped and stabbed in the back by revisionism and other perspectives to what actually happened. I've testified in front of the International Tribunal several times. I've witnessed it and I've seen it. And there is no doubt in my mind that there was a Tutsi genocide, that others were killed, that I was sympathetic to the Tutsis. Well, that's why they were killed, because they were sympathetic to the Tutsis. That others were killed because of exactions, yeah, that happens horribly in war. And yeah, that is part of the horrors of particularly civil war. And so to me, bringing this to a position of recognition without any doubt is essential in the movement of us into the future of not letting genocide on specific ethnicities or races or religion happen again.
So this vote today for you, this vote today was very significant for you, this vote in the House of Commons, unanimous consent to that vote and unanimous motion on identifying the genocide?
Yeah, I think it is, to me, imperative that people realize that I and others witnessed the genocide of an ethnic group called Tutsi, and that there is to be no doubt that that was the aim of that civil war.
Irwin Cotler, what does this moment mean to you? And you continue to monitor the situation in Rwanda, reflections on could it happen again? Or has everyone talks about the growth and the reconciliation that's happened in Rwanda?
Well, what makes the genocide of the Tutsis so unspeakable is not only the horror of the genocide, that is bad enough. What makes it so unspeakable is that it was preventable. Nobody could say we did not know. We knew, but we did not act. As in Darfur, we knew and we did not act, as in Myanmar. So it shows that these things can happen again, and therefore we have to have a collective vigilance and a collective responsibility to protect.
Is it all behind us? Because Paul Kagame, for example, the current president, he gets 95% support when there are elections, free elections in the country, but there's still organizations such as yourself which are concerned by human rights records in Rwanda still. Are there still concerns there?
Well, we understand, of course, the exceptional pain and agony that the Tutsis of Rwanda underwent, and we have the witness testimony, the compelling testimony here today, represented in the persons of Lieutenant-General Dallaire. But we also have to be vigilant to ensure that the Rwanda of which they hoped and dreamed and protected will be the Rwandan that the citizens deserve, a free and democratic Rwanda.
General Dallaire, you've given a lot and you've sacrificed a lot. Your message to Canadians when they watch the Rwandan situation and this Rwanda rebuilding itself?
Don't ever let the Rwandan genocide die. Don't camouflage it in all kinds of other endeavors. The genocide happened because they wanted to eliminate a group of people that the majority felt was putting them under pressure of not being able to run single-handedly a nation. And so they deliberately decided to wipe them out, and that way there would not be any question of who was leading the country. Well, you don't let that happen. And the genocide is the example that, in fact, we don't let that happen.
You've said you've left a part of your soul in Rwanda. You said that again this weekend.
I'm trying to figure out whether it's part or in whole. There is no way that the people and the experience and the troops that serve with me and the casualties we also took can simply be divided into pieces. And so I live here and I love my country, but I think my soul was martyred in Rwanda.
A last question: are you optimistic about the place you were born, your country?
I think so. I'm going, fortunately, nearly every year in Rwanda. I saw things I've never seen, I never experienced in my childhood. There's no mention of ethnicity in our ID cards now. For the children to go to school, for getting a job, for getting this, there's nobody who is going to refer to who you are. So this idea, of course, we are Tutsis, Hutu, and Twa, but the way it was being used to discriminate one group is no longer there. And I think what is really important, we learned a lot. Being left by everybody, then we have to cope ourselves. And we tried from scratch. And when you see where we are now, I think we really learn from suffering. I don't wish people to grow because they have suffered, but I'm happy that from our suffering, at least we grow. And this is what I think 25 years after.
Okay, I want to thank all three of you for taking the time. Thank you very much for speaking with us. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.